you have never seen yourself. And more than likely the rest, you are not really understood what it is. Right? Okay. Since this course will focus our study onto the management side, onto the optimization and business effectiveness of the software engineering. So we are not going to go deep into detail of this technology and things for you. Alright. Hopefully, before you graduate, before you go out into the world, you'll be able to learn most of this stuff. At least know what it is, what they are. And hopefully, during your lifetime, you'll be able to at least deal with some of them. But I can tell you that for the most part, in Vietnam, you may never have a chance to deal with this thing. Like hardware definition language, if you are not going to design a chip yourself, you've never seen them. Never, ever. Alright? Microcode programming, machine code level, never, ever. Unless you join some development team to develop, redesign computer chip, a processor. Well, there is one little company in Vietnam actually doing that. But I don't know whether you have a chance to join them. Okay. Assembly language is very rarely happen nowadays because it's tedious, it's difficult, it's very writing the assembly language is very, I would say, inefficient in terms of business. And virtual language development APIs, that's the most likely things that you may see, you may use in your life. Something like product-oriented language, domain-oriented framework and language. Hopefully, I have never had a chance myself to use those in Vietnam. Outside Vietnam is possible, but not in Vietnam till now. But hopefully, 10, 15 years later, you may be able to deal with this thing. Have you ever worked with ERP system? Any of you? Really work with ERP system like update, upgrade, maintenance, change, procedure, change the functionality inside the ERP system? If not, then, well, you may never know what is the meaning of domain-oriented framework and language. Problem-oriented framework and language, also like the same. Have you ever seen the business process? Microsoft Business Process Engine. Have you ever heard of it? That kind of thing. Automatic document processing system. You may have heard some people somewhere saying about the paperless office, right? Paperless business operation. Paperless meaning people have to deal with document not in the paper form but in the electronic form. And once you have the electronic form of paper, you must have some kind of automatic paper or document processing system. And then you will have to have something they call business processing engine. Okay.
Business processing engine.
Only you have heard somewhere, seen somewhere, but never experienced yourself. Alright. But that kind of thing is a little far away from us. They have been used popular all over the world, but not in Vietnam, not yet. Right? Remember, ERP have been used in America in the last 20 and 25 years. Until now, in Vietnam, we are still rarely seeing them really properly working ERP system yet. And so you can imagine that we are going late, 20, 30 years behind the top company in America. So more than likely, those things like domain-oriented framework and business processing engine, document automatic system processing will be 10-20 years away from us if you are still working in Vietnam. Alright, so temporary we skip over that. The most likely you see in real life is distributed service. Have you ever worked with some web service? Or have you ever made use of some web service to build your own software? Have you? Okay.
Distributed service.
Web service is kind of distributed service. Okay, so we can use web service to build our own software based on the web service provided by the others. Okay, like a very simple example is that suppose if you want to build a small little mobile applications, checking and verifying and manage the investment profile for the customer, then you have to query information, up-to-date information on the market, stock market, gold market, financial market of any kind, all around the world. Put all those information together and display onto one single screen in your mobile application so that your customer can see and check and make his or her own investment decision in time. Have you doing something like that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the most likely thing you will see in real life. Grid and cloud computing, yeah, you can hear people talking about it a lot in the last couple of years. They are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. But 99% of people don't know what they are talking about. Anyway, alright. And also, in recent months, maybe since last year, a lot of people in Vietnam are talking about artificial intelligence. And once you're dealing with artificial intelligence, you have to touch on the metadata and ontological language. That's something you couldn't avoid in AI. Right. So, and anyone here got something? And anyone here thinking of going into AI research and development? No.
No.
You? No. So, what do you intend to do? What do you want to do? Design web? Just empty, stupid website? Well, actually, yeah, 10 years ago, they need some people to build a website, but nowadays, software can generate thousands of websites in a second. So more than likely, they don't need anyone building a website. Because the software itself can generate much better website than you in a fraction of a second. And of course, in a fraction of cost. So if you really want to do development, you have to think about something that software and computer cannot do themselves. That's why we need people. Right? We have to be smarter than the computer. If we are stupider than the computer, then why should we do the things? And so we have to find some way doing something a lot more difficult than the computer can do. Anyway, these are just some examples, something to show you that there's a really big world out there. A lot of things we don't know. Okay, now take a quick look at a very simple activity in real life. Say, if you're going to buy a ticket for your trip, say it's simple. Fly to Da Nang or Nha Trang to have a quick 2 or 3 day trip. Then what do you have to do? Here are something most people have to do. Like before the trip, we have to book the flight, pay money, get insurance. We have to check the ticket. We have to check the budget. We have to check security, things like that, right? And once we look at these activities in our real life, we suddenly found that, okay, 90% of these activities actually doing by computer. Even if some activity you see the people doing it, they actually working with the computer. Without those computers, they couldn't do anything for you. Like booking the flight. Without a computer, typically they couldn't do anything. There's no way for people right now in the modern day can book and reserve a seat in any flight without the help of computer, without the help of a global database. And checking ticket, checking packet, in-flight data control, things like that are all controlled by computer. And once we're talking about something doing by the computer, that means we're talking about some software helps the computer to do those things. That means our life actually rely 90, some people say even 100% on some piece of software. That we can't avoid. In the modern life, we can't avoid. Right now, let's take a look around you in this room. You can see that most of the other things around you are actually controlled by computer in some way. Let's take an example. Okay. We have the asset control, internet asset control, hanging on top of the room. Right? So these are completely controlled by computer. Right? Without the software inside, we couldn't help to do anything. The presentation showing on the board are controlled by my computer sitting on the desk over there, surely. And inside this little projector, we have a small little microchip to control it. Right? All of you, all equipment around you are controlled by some kind of microchip that of course it requires some kind of software. Right? What else we can have without the computer? Look around, see. Do you think that we have the light on without the computer? Our light itself, our electric system itself is managed and controlled by automatic system, that means by computer. Have you heard the story of blackout happened in America in 2004? Right, on 2004, in the middle of summer, around August, actually I was there at that time. And suddenly, half of America has been turned off. Half of America, including almost half of Canada as well. I mean, the whole 7 states in the northeast of America and Canada have been power off completely. They call it grid blackout. And the power grid, the power system, electric system can only be restored after 3 days. 7,000 experts work together, try to recover the system, and they only success after 3 days. In 70 hours later. And they found that after a careful research and investigation, they found that all happening just because one power line had been struck by a thunderstorm somewhere in Ohio. But then this kind of question, why such a big system? It affects 150 million people over 3 days, can be stopped and brought down just by a simple thunderstorm strike one single cable. Because there is millions of cables, right, all over the place. And so some cables going down is actually always happening. But the trouble is that blackout happening just because there is a thunderstorm and it strikes one single cable, brought it down, and then the whole system crashing down. And then it comes to the question, why it happened? How can we avoid something at the same magnitude could happen, or maybe worse, could happen in the future? And they suddenly find out that, well, the whole system, not only North America, but all over the world, the whole electric system are controlled by a very complex system of computer, distributed complex computer. The purpose of the computer is when they design the system, they think of making the system more reliable. I mean, if something goes wrong in one part, it's supposed to be able to carry on in the other part. It should be more reliable, it should be more efficient, it will automatically balance out the load so that it keeps the system going on even in the worst possible scenario. Like they talk about, even when there is a strike in war, the system is supposed to be carried on. But then we don't need a war, we just need a single thunderstorm to destroy the whole system. Not actually destroy the whole system, but actually destroy it down. And so they find out, okay, the way people thinking is very good. The purpose is very good. We rely on more and more sophisticated, more and more powerful computer to control and balance and make things more efficient for us. But then things get out of control, out of our hands. The system becomes so complex because it has been developed over the last 40, 50 years with many different generations of computer, many upgrades in different parts of it. Then they suddenly find out that we don't understand the system anymore. It works. Whenever they want to upgrade some part of it, they just try to make it work again. And yes, it works again. But nobody understands the system anymore. Nobody knows exactly what is going on. And even when the system being brought down by a strike, they couldn't turn it off. Sorry, they couldn't turn it up. Because whenever they turn up one line, the other line automatically being brought down. Not by any people, not by any strike, not by any disaster, just by the control computer. Because the control computer somehow think that, alright, the system is not stable, it's not safe to be brought up. So it automatically brought it up. And they only can bring it up after 3 days by actually trying to shut down those computers, isolate them from the system, and then manually turn on one by one line. And once the system up, all of the line up, then they can connect those computers again and let it handle again. So what does that mean? What does that mean for us? That means our life is relying on something we don't know, we don't understand. Something we don't actually control. Although we think that we are controlling. But in fact, we didn't. We couldn't control them. And there is another example of software development. There has been proposed automatic machine computer control system of air traffic in Los Angeles. Because they say LA is the most crowded and most traffic airport in America. And so, using people to control air traffic go in and out is not possible because every single controller can only control about 3, 4, 5 airplanes at any moment. And then the number of airplanes coming in and out of LA area increased and it reached 5,000 in every minute. So that means no group of people can actually work together to control those numbers. And you know very well that even you don't know exactly, but you may understand that air traffic without control would be very, very dangerous, right? It's a kind of disaster waiting to happen. But then they thought, okay, since people have very limited capability of control, we can have very powerful computer to help us in controlling those number of airplane, right? And with a certificated radar, with a certificated program and computer, we can hope to control not only 5,000 airplanes every minute, but we can control 10, 20,000 at easy. Well, then they spent 3 billion US dollar over 9 years to develop an automatic system for air control in Los Angeles airport. And then when they put it into work, they suddenly find out that, well, we couldn't rely on that machine anymore. Because the machine had been optimized for keeping those 5,000 airplanes going in and out without crashing them. Yes, that's true. Because safety is the highest priority, right? Avoid collision is the highest priority of the system because it's having designed that way, and people also think that's the sensible way of thinking. The trouble is, in reality, it actually hold on and do not allow some big airline with 300 people aboard. It hold on flying over 3 hours over LA without landing. Because the system thing is not safe for landing. The trouble is, if it's not safe for landing, is it actually safe for flying around? Do you think that? No. Imagine 300 people sitting in a metal box. The airplane is basically a metal box, right? And that box actually flying 10,000 meters high above ground, and it go round and round for 3 hours. What do you think? Do you want to be in that plane? Nobody really wants. Right? So the trouble is, because the safety is a high priority, the system thinks that alright, instead of taking the risk, allow the plane to land at all cost, then it better keep the plane going above the airport forever. It could fly, say, 9 hours. And because actually some airplanes could fly continuously for 9 hours over the airport without problem, yes? But then people cannot accept that solution. Right? Because of that, they have to suspend the system, although it's very expensive. 3 billion US dollar with 9 years development and test. It did not fail or cause any catastrophic collision, but it actually failed in business. Because no any human being or sensible people sitting in the air control would think to hold off an airplane for 3 hours. No one. Because they are sensible people. They will find some way. They will hold off something else less important with fewer people affected and allow the big airplane to land first. Right? But the computer itself, it doesn't have that kind of priority. It doesn't have that kind of understanding. And so it just doing optimized calculation. And because of that optimized calculation, it's better to keep the airplane flying over and over and over again. Right? Those are just a few examples. You can see that. Yeah. In modern life, we have to rely on computers. But relying on a computer is not always pleasant. It's not always good. It's not always safe. But it's come the question: do we have a choice? Do you have a choice? Think about it. If suppose you want to fly to Da Nang, have your small little 3-day vacation, can you avoid dealing with the computer? Do you really have a choice? And sensible people will see very clearly that we don't have any choice. We either have to rely on the computer or we cannot live in the modern world. Practically, we do not given any choice. So, from the point of view of software developer, I mean, you may not be the person responsible for all this software, but as a group of people, all developers all over the world, we are responsible for the well-being of those computers, of those software. And that well-being actually responsible for the whole world, for the whole 7 billion of people living day out all over the world. And so that's why I say software developer is very important people. Right? Our mistake will be very costly. It's only kind of the text. Right? So if someone plans to be a software developer, well, be proud of yourself. Okay, we are important people. Without us, the world cannot go on as it is. But the thing is, always have two sides. They say the medal itself have two sides. We have bright side and we have dark side. We have good side and we have bad side. Okay, you can be proud of making the work going on like what it is. But also you have to think that any of mistake, our mistake, somehow will affect the world, affect people, and in some case it will be very serious. So doing our job as a software developer, you must be very careful. Okay? You are not destroying only the computer by your mistake. You may probably destroy some life. Alright. That's why software is important. And certainly those people who make software are important. Okay? Now, let's come to the next question. Okay, software is important because we have no way to avoid using software. And good software is also important because a mistake in software could cause a lot of disruption in real life, in real people. And so now let's come to the next question. What is the meaning of good software? They say, okay, a good software has two aspects, two characteristics. One is the functionality, and second is the performance, efficiency of it. So, what is the functionality? The software has to be useful. So, what is the meaning of useful software? Easy to use doesn't mean useful. Okay? Virus is a very easy to use software. You don't do anything, it's automatically spread all over your place. Is it useful? Come on. So what is it?
Make the work easier.
Make your work easier. Alright. It helps people to do something easier. What do you mean easier?
Without software, we should 5 steps maybe to do something.
Right.
But I have software we can do it with 1 or 2 steps.
Okay. But without software, you can do it in 5 steps, 5 minutes. With software, you do it 2 steps in 20 minutes. Which one is better? Come on. It doesn't matter how many steps you count.
Yeah.
What is the matter? Come on. That's really it. I don't know whether I told you this example because I myself experienced that situation. Well, you can see for yourself almost daily, actually. Like this. Once I go into the what about the common office, the Banyan firm. Alright. Now it's very nice that every office they do have some kind of computer. They do have some kind of network computer link them together and even they have internet connection. Oh, that's very nice. And they also have pretty well defined procedure for doing almost everything, especially dealing with people. Alright. So when I read some papers, give them certified stamp some things on it, and then they will open their computers, open the software, because they have well-defined software with a well-defined interface, so that they can just type in something and check the information, and if it's okay, then you can just put the stamp on my paper. Well, in principle, it's nice. Just in principle. The trouble is, the software has been designed in such a way that instead of going through the paper by reading it, it takes at most 5 minutes to read one page of A4, right? And so with any sensible people, with literate people, they can read it, they can check the information, and they can put a stamp within 5 minutes at most. But with the computer, alright, they have to type in 20 different field of information on the form and then make every single mistake, every single field. And once they make a mistake, you have to correct it, you have to wipe out the form and re-enter the information. So, in reality, it took them 40 minutes to fill up the form. So which one is better, as you say? With or without computer? And in sensible people, we say, hey, I don't want that kind of activity, I don't want that kind of service from the computer. It's so stupid, it's so crazy. So what happened? Why it happened that way? It's not supposed to happen that way, right? But the reality is like that. Now it's come to the question, why? If you are a programmer, if you are the one responsible for design and implement that software, or the whole system, I'm not saying about the software itself, because software cannot separate from the hardware from the computer and from the people who use it. The whole thing put together in a single system. So if suppose you are the one responsible for the system, what can you do to make it actually work the way it's supposed to be? Think about it. What can you do? Why it happened that way? And you can check for yourself that kind of situation everywhere. Simple. Just go into it. Imagine it. Try to give them 3 different pieces of paper. Ask them to check information and verify information. Then you will see how quick they are. With the help of software and computer. And you can see the whole system going on crazy. Right? That's really experienced by millions of people day in, day out. And so, that are some examples of good intention, good idea, but bad implementation leading to bad software, bad solution. Right? The software itself doesn't crash. It works. In the sense that, alright, it never crashes. But it doesn't work in the sense that actually achieving some purpose. So you can see the difference between a good software and a crashing and not crashing software. They are not the same. Right? The software that crashes may be good software, because it actually helps people to do something. And also the other software that did not crash, never crash, it seems to be very nice design, reliable design, but it's very difficult to help people to achieve anything. It can't be said as a good software, right? So we have to keep that in mind, carefully define what our meaning of good software in certain situations, certain cases. And please, when trying to doing your software, trying to improve your software, trying to test your software, you always have to keep in mind that we try our best to make our software a good software, not a reliable but useless software. Right? So the point for most of the beginner in software development is that it doesn't really matter how many bugs you can take it out and how many bugs you can fix it. Because fixing bugs only make your computer software more reliable and less prone to crash, but it doesn't help the software to become useful. Right? So remember that it's very important. The computer software that never crash may be very less useful or useless. Okay? So we're talking about functionality and performance. Actually, it's quite difficult to separate between these two. Because functionality is doing all the required function. But then the question is whether those required functions are actually necessary, actually useful or not. And even if it can do some required function, the question is whether those required functions actually can help people to do some real thing. It's not important if it can do something by its own. It's more important to answer the question whether it can help people to do the real thing in their real world. Right? Okay. So, and also in the other side of it, it's called the performance or efficiency. The performance or efficiency of the software is the efficiency level, the rate of efficiency, the rate of saving time and effort. Remember, efficiency, performance, we are not talking only about time. We are also talking about effort to put into the work. Think about the example I just gave you in the common office. Right? Do you know why the worker over there makes so many mistakes? Why it takes so much time to put information into the computer? It's not because the computer is so slow. It works. The biggest problem is that it's asked them to provide too much information by hand. And the more you put information in by hand, the more mistakes you can make. And both, whenever people dealing with input data, the designer or the software will have to think of that we make mistakes. And how can we deal with mistakes? The trouble with that kind of software, you can see everywhere in every office of the commune, is that whenever they make a small little mistake somewhere, they will have to wipe out everything and re-enter all those information again. And that is inefficiency. Right? It helps them to make more mistakes, actually. Okay? So all those kind of design, although it's work, although it's correct, although it's actually satisfy requirement in terms of functionality, but it renders the software useless or not useless. Okay. And then if we go one step further on the basic requirement of good software, we will have to talk about maintainability, because the important point is our real world will never be static. It changes. And it changes more and more frequently. That also means in order to survive in the real world, in order to help people doing the real thing, software has to be changed. And it has to be changed more and more frequently. the materiality becomes more important. In some case, even more important than functionality and performance itself. Because things change so fast. Dependability. Dependability is the value of trust we can put in the system. Right? Remember something like this, like I take an example. Okay. Have you ever gone to buy something important and expensive like a house? Never. Have you bought a house?
Yes.
Or land? Okay. So when you are going to buy and when you go to make the decision whether to pay for some piece of land or house, you have to check and verify, make sure that the house and the land of the people who sell to you, they actually come right from the owner. Because we only can pay the owner. You can't buy a piece of land or a house from anybody passing by on the street. Right? Why so?
Because maybe I will be maybe I will lose money.
Not maybe. If you are not paying to the owner, you definitely lost.
Yeah.
The problem is, what is the meaning of buying something? We buy meaning we exchange our money for some property, right? So that means we're using our own money to exchange for some property owned by the others. You can using money from somebody not yours to buy something that's not the owner selling, right? So, okay. That is the principle of buying or exchange in the market, in the real world. So, when we pay using our own money, we have to get back some property from the owner of the property. That's the principle. If you pay to somebody that's not the owner, then definitely your money is lost. You can't get anything back.
True.
Right? Okay, that's principle. Now let's come to the question. Because the house or the land itself do not have the name or the ID of the owner sticking on it. So how do you know who was the owner actually?
We can check the name with the ID card.
It doesn't mean anything. An ID card only can say, I am that person with that name, with that ID number. It didn't say that I own the house or not.
And I need to a government
Certified paper.
certified by
Right.
government.
Okay. So you must verify the owner ID and the owner ID of some piece of paper certify that alright, this person with that ID number actually own piece of that land or own that house. So you will not trust whatever the guy says. You trust the piece of paper. Right? And the most important point is, how can you trust a piece of paper more than a person? How? Why? Why can you trust a piece of paper more than a person?
Because the paper were made by the government.
Who knows? Nobody knows for sure. A paper is a paper. It's just a piece of paper. Anybody can have it. Anybody can make it. Right?
We should go to evaluate work.
You should and must not should. Because the exchange, the contract of buying and selling will not valid until that have been certified, approved, or registered by some authority. Right? Okay. Because the authority is the one, or the person who represents authority actually is the one who says, alright, this piece of paper is trustable. and I certify it's trustable. Without that kind of thing, any piece of paper are the same. Is that right? Any piece of paper are all the same. One piece of paper has more value than the others because it has the certification. Because it has been certified by a trust person. Because the trust person is not the person itself or him or herself. The person actually represents the authority. Something we must trust. Or else, who can we trust? Right? Okay. So the final point is trust. Right? It's only useful if you can trust. And based on that example, it's come back to the things we are talking about here is software. Right? When you put the number into computer, it returns to you another number. Let's say when you put in 5 multiplied by 4, what will return by the computer? You know very well. It's supposed to return 20, right? It's supposed. But now it's come to question. Okay? Suppose if your own calculation, own estimation say that it should return 5 multiplied by 4, it should return 20. But if the computer tells you that it's 25, then what? Can you trust yourself or trust the computer? Who would be better in that case? Who would be better? Yourself. Okay. Now, my example seems very stupid and so funny. Well, not funny at all. But think about it. If when you bring a piece of paper when you with the owner of the house to the authority, to the office, common office, and they said, hey, sorry, I knew that there is another piece of paper say different. I mean, there is 2 pieces of paper, almost the same value, talking about the same house, for with 2 different owners. Then, which one do you trust? It's just similar to if you type in 4 multiplied by 5 and then the computer tells you that is equal to 25. It looks funny, but it's not. Right? Because based on your own experience, you say that okay, in my 20 years of living, whenever I try 4 multiplied by 5, I always come up with the result of 20, never be 25. So that means something wrong with the machine, something wrong with the software, something wrong with the whole system. But because it's so obvious. But now think of it, we imagine the own authority of the system, we going to buy our house. And then suddenly the system tells us that, okay, I have 2 pieces of paper exactly the same, only different in terms of owner. Now, who you going to pay for your house? Because it will cost you maybe several billion in number. If you pay to the right person, you got a house. If you pay to the wrong person, you got a piece of paper. I mean, nothing. Now it's come to the question, who you going to trust? It's not funny anymore, right?
I don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone. Okay, so the easiest and safest option is make a way. We are not going to deal with that guy or with that house anymore. Alright? Because it's so scary.
There is something wrong.
There's something wrong, completely wrong. Okay. Well, any sensible people will think that way. But reality, real life is much more complex. You can see that a lot of people, millions of people in Vietnam actually pay several million to buy a house that don't exist. Right? They call it buying house on paper. Why so? Are they stupid? No. Most of them don't stupid. And because they have the money, so definitely they are not stupid. Okay. the trouble is why it happened. And it still happened. Not to say anybody, actually, I myself bought something on paper.
I have.
You have one. Okay. So definitely you are not stupid. But why? Why do we do that? Why do we pay money for some piece of paper? Valueless. Right? Why? Is it difficult now to answer the question? Is it really difficult? Actually, it's not difficult because it really did. It doesn't make any difference between buying a house, the really existing house, and buying a house on paper. It's all boiled down to one point. That is, who are you going to trust? Because even if you pay your real money to buy a house that exists, it may not be yours. If the house belongs to somebody else, or even if the house belongs to the person who you paid money, but he's already sell that house to somebody else, or maybe he already put up the house to the bank for some loan that he never want to repay, then your house is not your house anymore. So it's all depends on who we going to trust, right? And in practice, actually, the whole society, everything we are doing in our real life, actually revolving around the trust, whether we trust something, someone or not. Right? Without trust, we can't do anything. We can't even live. Okay? Just take another very simple example of real life. Okay? When you ride on the street, most of our streets do not have anything separate between two directions. Right, so think about it. Let's say if you are riding your motorbike in the night at the late night, right? And you see someone going in the reverse direction, then what would you do? You go straight at him or not? No, definitely, because we don't want to have a crash, right? So what would you do? Avoid. How? Certainly, you want to avoid him and he want to avoid you. Okay, that's fine. In principle. But how? Ring a bell doesn't make any difference. Because ringing or not ringing, the guy will still go straight at you. If he likes. Right? Because you have light, you have flashlight, you can press the horn, you can ring the bell, you can do whatever you like. But it's only depend on the other guy also, right? You have to do something. The important point in our society is that whatever you are doing, you have to rely on the other, right? So that means we will try our best to avoid him with the assumption, remember, with the assumption that he also try his best to avoid us. If doesn't matter what you are doing, if he try to hit you, then you will be hit. No way out, right? That's the thing. Doesn't matter how you avoid him. If he try to hit you, then you will be hit anyway. Right? Okay. So that means we only can live the normal life in the assumption that we follow some principle. Like in order to avoid to hit the guy, we will turn our bicycle or motorbike to the right side, and hope that he also doing the same. From his side, he also turn to the right of his side. That means we both avoid each other, avoid a crash. But suppose if the guy first didn't see you, second, he didn't know that you will turn to the right, he turned to the left of himself, then we will have a big crash. Right? So that means our whole life revolving around trust. Trust in other people. Trust that there is some rule, some principle, something that everybody should follow in the normal circumstance. Right? Without that kind of rule, We couldn't live. And the same actually applies for everything we are doing, including software. Now the question is, if suppose the computer software return to you that for multiply by 5 equal to 25, then what? You have two options. Either trust it, meaning accept that 4 multiplied by equal to 25, or don't trust it. If you don't trust it, then what can you do? If you trust it, it's very simple, you just take the result. That's it. Okay, accept it. But if you don't, then what?
Recalculate by hand.
Recalculate by hand. Yeah. 5 multiplied by 4, you can do it by hand easily. But think about it, in real life, say, by the end of the year, alright, the computer turning up, after a lot of calculation, they say, hey, you have to pay your personal income tax of 10 billion. Do you believe it? Of course not. What do you do to pay income tax of 10 billion? How can you find the money to pay income tax of 10 billion? No way. But then, how can you recalculate by hand? Come on, think about it. If the computer tell you that you have to pay 10 billion income tax, then what can you do? Tell me. There is no way we can recalculate the income tax by hand because we don't know all the number. We don't know all the calculation. There is no way we can do the calculation ourselves. But then what? If we don't trust the computer, who can we trust? Come on. Very simple. It happened in reality. Not one, it happened with many companies. Think about it. When you are graduate and join the companies, and then suddenly your companies, by the end of the year, turn up the tax bill of 20 billion. If the company paying that bill, that means you will not have in your salary because they have no money left for your salary. But if they don't pay the tax, then it will be a bigger problem. Then what? Come on, tell me. What can you do? You are the IT guy. You are responsible for the well-being of the computer system. Your boss will say, hey, I don't know what's happening, but definitely something wrong. And you are the one who is going to find out what is wrong. Right? Right or not right? Come on. It's relative. It's our life. What are you doing with that case? If you don't do anything, you will lose your job. For sure. Now the question, what can you do? Do you want to accept the number or what? If you accept the number, you will lose your job anyway. If you don't accept the number, you also lose your job. Yeah. Yeah. What will you do with that case? Right? Come on. What can you do? If you don't do anything, you lose your job. If you do something, more than likely you also lose your job. So what can we do? Not losing our job and still have salary. Because we rely on it, right? We need our salary. Or else, how can we live? So, don't do anything is not an option. And you can take a while because time is really short by the end of the year, right? Either you answer the questions and recalculate and have a correct number, then you will have your salaries, maybe bonus for the debt holidays, or else you won't have anything. What can you do? Come on. Now, think about it. So, in practice, in real life, the very important feature or characteristic of software of computer system is that because we don't know exactly what's going on inside, because we don't have 100% full control on the computer system, we have to rely on it to carry on many important calculations for our life, many important selections for our life. So we will have to trust the software. In many cases, like in the example I give you of the tax calculation, you have no choice but to trust the software. And it's still good for us is that we do have more than one software to trust. If you have only one choice, then you are dead. Because if the software turns up 20 billion tax bill, you have to pay because you have no other choice. But real life, we have much better than that. We have more than one tax software, calculation software. So we can run in parallel 2 or 3 of them and see whether those numbers turn up are the same or not. If they are the same, and all of them showing that you have to pay 20 billion tax, I mean you have to pay, no other choice. But if they turn up 3 different numbers or maybe 2 different numbers, okay, we have the case to say something that alright, something go wrong. I don't know which one go wrong, but definitely we can't trust any of these 2 numbers. So I'm not going to pay these 2 numbers. Depending on investigation, recalculation carefully. And of course, in that case, you are not the one doing recalculation. The tax authority will have to do the recalculation for you. But at least we have the result. We have very clear case saying we cannot trust the computer 100% because 2 computers, both of them are reliable, both of them have some people to trust, but both of them actually going with 2 different results, 2 different numbers. So I can safely assume that none of them are trusted in this case. Somebody will have to do the recalculation. Okay? But if you have only one choice, only one software, then you have no chance. You have to rely on it. Okay? So it's also very important of good software that your software, your calculation, whatever you're doing with the system, have to be trusted. Or more than that, you have to build the software in such a way that it gives the customer, give the end user some trust ability. If they don't have trust in your software, your software becomes useless because they never use it. They never want to deal with it. Okay, so this is very important, dependability. Trust. And of course, finally, efficiency. Using the software to do something have to be better than doing it by the other way. Much better than doing it by hand. Just like the example I gave you. Alright. If doing something by hand taken 5 minutes, that means the software must be able to solve the same problem, how to do the same thing in less than 5 minutes. And it's much better because depend on the amount of money and effort we spend on the system development. If the system is expensive, it's supposed to return. I mean, it's supposed to bring back more efficiencies to the one who uses it. I mean, if we do something by hand taking 5 minutes, and if I get the software and the system for free, then if the system and software can help me to do the same thing in 3 minutes, that's good enough because it's free. But if I have to pay 10,000 US dollar for the system, I expect that it must be able to help me doing the same thing in less than 1 minute. Or else, why should I pay 10,000 for it? Right? So it all depends on the value, the investment, and the ratio of efficiency. So you have to keep that in mind when you ask for your customer about the cost and effort in development. If your development, if your software, if your system cannot help them to save a lot of time and effort, you couldn't ask for much price because they won't pay. But if you can help them to save a lot of time and effort, you are eligible to ask them very high price for your software and system. It's just a fair exchange, right? Because if you want to save your time and money, you have to pay for it. There is no such free things, no free lunch in the world. Okay? Keep that in mind when you are doing software development business, because it's important, right? And finally, acceptability. Acceptability is whether people like it, love it, and want to use it. Have some non-technical relationship with the software. The acceptability is very important to decide whether the software is good or bad. Not because it works or not, it's because people love it or not. Take an example. Okay. What kind of browser you are using right now? Web browser.
Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer. What else?
Liar.
Internet Explorer account for less than 4% of the world.
Chrome.
I'm not saying that you're crazy. I'm just saying that you are in the minority.
Chrome, Firefox, Opera.
Okay. Now it's come to question, which one is better? Well, it's impossible to answer that question, right? No one is actually better. It may be better in certain case, but it was in different case. So now it's come to question, why should someone choose one over the other? Like myself, I never use Opera, although I have it. It's free out there, it's easy, but I never use it. No. Actually, I never use Opera. The one I'm using on iPhone is Safari, not Opera. But nothing much different from between Chrome, Firefox, and Opera. Not much different anyway. The question is, why did I choose Firefox, not Opera? Or why did somebody choose Chrome, not Firefox? There is no clear answer.
Yeah.
But the important point is, people have their own personal preferences. They use Chrome because they love Chrome over Firefox. For no reason. No very clear reason. Why someone loves Chrome, why someone hates Chrome. Right? Okay. So that is very important because that actually makes the software different from the other software, from competing software. And in real life, whatever your software doing, there are always many other doing the same thing like you. There's many. So the acceptability of user is very important because it makes or break the software. So now you have pretty good idea about the meaning of good software. And you can look at it carefully and find out to your surprise that good software has nothing to do with correct software. Look at it. Nowhere people saying that good software is the correct one. So when you are doing software, when you are writing your own software, don't think too much about make it work correctly because it doesn't important. Make it work correctly is not important. Try and find and fix all the bug is not important. Okay? So hopefully after this, you will have different way of looking at programming and software development. You will see that most of the things you do in software development is lots of time for no really good result. Okay? And software cost, that's important point because we are talking about business, we are talking about software as a part of business. So software cost account for majority cost of the system. Let's take an example like this. You have iPhone. Okay, how much it cost when you buy it? When you bought it? Free. No, it's not free. Somebody buy it, give to you, not free. Because somebody will have to pay, but not you maybe. But immediately there's somebody. It never comes free. Come on. Maybe I should add a different question. Alright? Infinity. If you compare between different smartphones, let's say take one from Xiaomi, another one from Samsung, another one from Apple. There you can find actually 3 models or 3 kind of smartphone with exactly the same hardware and the different hardware. Same memory, same kind of processor, same speed, same kind of the screen. But you can see very well that prices totally different. Price will never be the same. Right? So what made them different? Brand name? No. Brand name is for marketing. Most people are not stupid, and so most people will not like to pay for something intangible like brand name. Although few people believe that brand name do have value, but most people don't want. Even they knew that brand name do have value, they don't want to pay for it. But they still pay different price for different kind of smartphone. The question is, why? Hardware the same. So what different? Only 2 things left. One is software. The other is service. Right? So that means you pay different price for different kind of software and for different kind of service. Right? Now, when you compare between iPhone and Xiaomi, there are 2 different kind of service, there are 2 different kind of software. So there are nothing in common, practically. Right? So compare them, they compare. Now, if we compare between Samsung and Xiaomi, they are both using different version of Android, right? And practically anything can run on Samsung can also run on Xiaomi because they are using the same kernel. No, nothing different. Same hardware, same chipset, same kernel, same library, same platform. So practically anything can run on one, can run on the other. But why different in price? Somebody will say different in terms of service. But practically you can see that what is the meaning of service? What's the meaning of service for you? Are you really in contact with technical service of Samsung to do something with your phone or not? I believe most of you never actually work directly with technical service center of Samsung. But why should we pay more for Samsung smartphone more than Xiaomi? Why? Have Samsung?
Yeah, I don't have Xiaomi.
Okay. Good choice. I didn't say it's not good, but I don't like it myself personally. It's just my personal preference. I don't like it. I didn't say anything that it doesn't work or it's bad quality, but I just don't like it. And many other people also make decisions to buy or not to buy based on their own preferences like that. But now I can see many other people also have Samsung. And in any case, Samsung is a lot more expensive than Xiaomi. Why should you pay for it? Okay. For you, the answer is easy because it's cheap. So you pay less for something than everyone do the other.
Yeah.
But for your friend here who pay more for the same thing, and the answer will be quite different. Why should you pay more for it? Have you ever worked with the Samsung technical service? Never. Okay. So if you say that the difference in price because of different quality of service, then it's meaningless answer. Because you never use it. So why? Now it's important to answer that question because later on, when you're going to charge your client, your customer for your software, then whether they ask you directly or not asking you directly, they always want to answer the question, why should I pay for the software? Any customer, when they making decision to buy or not to buy your software, they will have to answer the question, why should I pay for it? And why should I pay that much for it? Right? So if you can't answer the question, you will never be able to answer the question and address the concern of your customer. It comes to the result that you will never be able to sell your software. And that's important. That's important. If you will never be able to sell your software, you will never be able to sell yourself as a programmer, as a developer. If you can't sell yourself as a developer, you can't have a job. So now we come back to the question, why should you pay differently for the same thing? Come on. How are you? You have more experience.
I pay for because iPhone, but I have Android only. Also, when I choose the model, I just choose the last one, the cheapest one with the same hardware.
But the cheapest one with the same hardware is supposed to be mobile or something. It should not be iPhone. Right?
Actually, at the moment, at the same time, I just have a choice, the few options: iPhone, Samsung, LG, Sony.
Why not mobile or FPT software? Smartphone. They are much cheaper. If you can buy iPhone, you can buy 3 or more. The same hardware, the same smartphone with the brand name of FPT.
I can find the store. I can
Oh,
find
come on. Any store, if they are selling iPhone, more than likely, let's say, Vietcom R or Thế giới di động, you will see there's much cheaper one with the same size, same quality, same hardware, with only 1/3 of the price. Why should you limit the option within only 2 or 3 names like Apple, LG, Samsung, and Sony? Okay. Why? No, because you are not going to buy the cheapest with the hardware. You are going to buy the best with the amount of money you have. Right? Suppose you put a budget, okay, I'm going to buy the smartphone with 7 million. Alright, so I'm looking around to find the best possible hardware that I can buy with 7 million. That's why you limit yourself the best possible, meaning with a famous name, with the best possible hardware available with those famous names. That's why you limit yourself with what available for iPhone, Apple, LG, and Samsung. You stick with the amount of money, not stick with the hardware itself. Right?
It is two condition, the price and the hardware.
Because for anything you can buy with iPhone, you can buy 3 times with the same kind of hardware using the brand name of mobile or everything. Everywhere, right? Because with the same machine like that, mobile sell to you only 1.5 million or something.
But when I try some brand such as Motorola, FPT, but when I try, I feel there is not different with Samsung.
Yep.
And maybe
They're not different, but they are much cheaper.
But maybe slower. The interface is not good. The design is not good.
Actually, they are all the same. They're using the same car, the same color, the same design. They are exactly the same thing, only different in price. And if you look very carefully, then you will see there's a little difference in terms of quality of the build. But for those new machines, brand new out of the box, they are almost identical. The only difference is brand new. And hopefully, the surface behind that brand new. But for most practical people, in practical situation in real life, we rarely use the surface behind the brand new. Really, we already heard about the story of using the service we never actually executed ourselves. Alright, those are examples and discussion I want to show you that in real life, good or bad software, quality or not quality, and many other things actually also depend on the cost. And when we are doing something in our real life, when people make the decision to use or not to use, to choose or not to choose something, most of the time we actually make our decision based on some prejudice, something we believe in, some personal preferences, and our decision actually affected most likely by the cost. That's the most important factor of making a decision. Right? And once we know that, we also have to remember when we deal with software, costs are also important. Prejudice, preferences, personal feelings are also important. Most of the time, we are not looking at the quality, requirement, function, efficiencies of the software. We look at it from the personal point of view. And so, when you are developing software, if you want to be successful developing software, you have to keep that in mind. So that means you have to sell your software to the correct people by giving them correctly what they want. And most of the time, what they want is not limited to the technical requirement. People don't care about technical requirement most of the time. So, when we are selling software, we are actually selling it to the decision maker. But the decision maker himself, in practice, we never use the software. In most cases, he never. The one who uses the software do not have the right to make decision. The one who makes decision never use the software. So everything you are reading in the book talking about functionality, requirement, satisfaction, and it doesn't really matter much in real life. Okay? But of course, they will factor in. But keep in mind, most important factor is cost and personal preferences, personal feeling, and the trust between people. If they trust you, they will give your product, your software high value. If they don't trust you, doesn't matter whether your software is good or bad, they will give it lower value. The perception value, the feeling value. Alright? Now, as we go through what we call the concept and definition of good software and bad software, keep in mind, the most important one is good software has nothing to do with correct software. Keep that in mind, because it's important. Alright, now we come to the second topic of the chapter, and the most important topic. They call it the software development crisis, or in short, the software crisis. If you download the materials from CMS, I post up the first 5 weeks a year. If you download the first week, you will see there's the chaos report for the software development industry, and they find that, right? There's a few things important on the software development as a result of the survey. First of all, cost of software is much higher than cost of hardware itself. It's true in 50 years ago, it's true nowadays. Let's take an example of your laptop. The laptop doesn't matter what is the model, expensive piece of hardware, right? How much you have to pay for this laptop? Around 15 million. I can't remember exactly. Okay. But if you're going to buy the same thing out there in the shop, it will cost you more than 10 million, something like that. But they say if you accounting carefully for all those software running inside, the cost of the running machine will actually exceed 20 to 25,000 US dollars. And the cost of hardware never exceeds 2 or 3,000 at the most. And majority of computer hardware right now we are using is less than 1,000. Sometimes much less. But if you account for everything running inside, it will easily reach over 25,000. So that means, in other words, the cost of the software inside, if we calculate it very carefully, it will actually exceed 90% of the cost of the whole system. Hardware account for less than 10%. And in reality, the bigger the system you see, the higher the rate of software. And it's also very important. There also they call the hidden cost of the software. The hidden cost of the software are the cost that is not accounted by normal standard accounting procedure. Like in the enterprise, in the company, the total cost of the computer system is not accounted for by calculating the cost of hardware and the cost of software. It's never that way. Right? Normally, for a small companies of less than 100 people, less than 100 computer, laptop or desktop, they say in America, not in Vietnam, because I don't have the number, don't have any estimation in Vietnam, and especially in Vietnam, we are not very clear about cost. In America, they did many surveys, and they found that on average, a company of less than 100 people would have to spend yearly for the hardware cost around 5,000 US dollars per head, per employee. And so if you have 40 employees, 5,000 multiplied by 40, you will have to spend on average of $200,000 for hardware. And they found out on average the cost for software will be 3.5 to 4.5 times of the hardware. I mean, for every head count in the company, the software cost yearly will be around about 17,000 to 25,000. Okay, but there are also a hidden cost that very difficult to account. That is the cost of keeping the system running smoothly for the business purpose. Right? They call it maintenance, ongoing operation cost. And the bigger the system, the more complex system, and the more modern system, the ratio of hidden cost is higher. If your system are very well connected, if your company is a mobile worker with all the information synchronized between those computers, all the backup data has been properly protected, backup and secure, then they say the cost of the hidden cost, the maintenance operation cost will actually account for almost half of the cost of the system. I mean, another 20,000 per head. 25,000 dollars per customer, per people. But it's very expensive. And so, among those, you can see that if calculate very carefully in America environment, up-to-date environment, they found that the hardware costs actually account for less than 10%. Less than 10%. So, but it's true 50 years ago, on 1968, it's still hold true now that cost of software and hidden cost of software behind it is the maintenance cost of software actually much greater than the hardware. Cost of maintenance greater than cost of development. So the cost of software itself, if we split into maintenance cost and development cost, then development cost we can consider as the purchasing cost of the software, right? Because we have to pay for the development in order to get the software. So we can consider purchasing cost at the same as the development cost. So once finished development, deliver the software, we have to pay for it. Then they find out maintenance cost of the software is much greater than cost of development. For an average software that can last about 5 years lifetime. Most software actually lasts longer than 5 years, especially system and infrastructure software lasts much longer. For on the average of 5 years lifetime, the cost of maintenance actually triple the cost of development. And it accounts for around 70 to 75% of the total cost, lifetime cost of the software itself. And they say, hey, schedule development cost estimation of the software project are grossly inaccurate. Then the first cost result from the surveys, they say the productivity of programmer cannot keep up with demand. What I mean? I mean, programmer improve the efficiency, the way they work with more experience, more time, more money, higher salary. But the increasing ratio between experience accumulation and payment accumulation are much higher than the improved internal performance. They found that very surprised. Not only this study, but many studies later on in the next 30 years found that 10 years of experience of programmer, of developer can only increase the performance of the developer around 20%. 20 to 25% improvement. I mean, an experienced programmer with 10 years of experience is only better than the non-experienced programmer just out of school, about 20%. But there is no way anyone can pay the 10-year experience programmer with only 20% more salary than a fresh newly graduate. Normally, in real life, if you have 10-year experience, you will ask for 3 times salary more than a newly graduate. It's not, right? How much you may get after graduate from school in Vietnam right now as a programmer?
6
6 million.
fresh.
Well, someone say between 6 to 10. Okay, I'm not arguing the number, but I say you have no way to hire an experienced programmer of 10-year experience, 20 to 40 projects with the price of less than 25 million. That's not possible, right? The trouble is, in comparison of the performance and efficiency, the person with 10-year experience only 20% higher than the person just out of school, on average. Only 20% better. So, in other words, it doesn't want to pay that high money for the experience, right? In other words, put it in different way. They will not hiring experienced people for development because the cost is not justify the return. Or in other words, if you want to do software development, you must be doing it in the first 3 years after graduate. After 3 years, forget about doing development. They are not hiring you for that because they say it doesn't work. Because practically nobody with 3, 4, 5 year experience accept the same salary as the newly graduate. Nobody. And because of that, they will not hire you. Because they only can pay that much, nothing more. If you're willing to have the same kind of salary as a newly graduate, then you may get a job. If you don't, forget about it. You won't have better salary. Because no way you can make things better than the new graduate. Even if better, only very little better. That's the return of philosophy. Okay. Very surprised, but it's true. Not only in Vietnam, everywhere in the world. That is the nature of the development job. You can do much better than the new one. That's why most of people actually after graduates going to software development, after 2 or 3 years they get out of it, doing other things. Not because they don't like the job, but the job don't like them. Good. Is it a surprise to you?
Actually, I have been overqualified 3 months ago.
Yeah. Overqualified means the job don't like you.
I got a lot of call, but I never have
An offer.
meeting.
Because we are overqualified, sorry to say. Yeah. If you have more than 5 year experience in software development, that means we are overqualified and never have a chance. Because they don't like it. The job don't like us. Not because we don't like the job, but the job don't like us, so we should do the other thing. Okay, that's practice. Okay. It's a crisis. Not only for the developer, but for the whole industry. And then they found us some disturbing number. Okay. In 1995, in North America alone, the total cost for the cancelled software project, software development project, accumulate up to 81 billion US dollar. Mean what's money? Right? Money is spent but nothing get out of it. And then they find out not only that big number, the worst thing is it's increasing. It's getting bigger and bigger. On the 96, the numbers grown 20%, more than 20% to 100. Nobody knows exact number right now. But you can just simply look at Google App Store or Apple Store to see for yourself how many software are out there in Apple Store. How many? Too many to count. No. We can't count ourselves, but Apple have the number. They say something like 4 or 5 million applications. The trouble is, how many of them do you think people are actually using? How many? Yeah, very, very few. So what is the meaning of that? I mean, majority of software developed in App Store are actually go to us, right? It sit there, nobody use, nobody care, nobody do anything with it. But remember, those software need time and effort to be built. Right? Somebody have to spend time, effort, and mean money to build those software for no reason because nobody really uses it. Okay? In other words, they are waste money. We don't have the number on modern time. But look at this number in 95, 96. In North America, we see that how much money actually was. But keep in mind that those fellows cancel software project doesn't mean that the software is not exist or it cannot be built. Just take an example like Apple Store. There's many software being built. They can run. They can do something. But nobody will be using them. So they become useless. Or another word, waste. Right? That's a lot of money. Now it's come to the question. If we are developer, what would you like to do? You like to build a new application so nobody is going to use it, just sitting somewhere in your hard drive, sitting somewhere on the cloud, like those useless applications in Apple Store. And then after a couple of years, then Apple will clean up their store and throw you away. Right? It can't be there forever. Or if you want to be a programmer that your software being used by millions or billions of people all over the world, which one do you want? Is it really a question? No. Everybody dream of building something so that everybody all over the world rely on our software, our piece of code to do their job, to live their life, right? If we know for sure that our software will never be used, then we are not going to do it. Because it's just a waste of time. Right? We can spend time much better than that. We can go to the coffee shop and enjoy the environment. Why should sitting there and writing something for nothing? Right? Okay. So it's very important to do useful software. It's not a question of whether you can build software or not. Building a software is very easy. But the important point is building the useful software that somebody really uses it. That's more important than building the software itself. Okay. So they say annual cost to the country economies of poor quality software. I mean, those software have some users, some people using them, but because of poor quality, because of crash, because of failure, because of lost data, because of so many reasons, basically because of poor quality, it costs the economies around 60 billion a year. That's on 2004. You can only imagine that now on 2017, the number is much higher than this. So that means building a good software, building a useful software, not only bring job and money to you, but also save a lot of money to other people. Because time is money. Alright? So there's a lot of things showing you just a number. Deliver but useless. This account for nearly half of the software. Remember, deliver, I mean the software exists, but deliver not used means useless. So money and time to spend on this software is useless. What's anyway? Paid for but not delivered. Only this part is could use after change, could use at deliver, and could use but then later abandon. Meaning they have no choice, but have to use it for some time, and later on they just simply give up. So that means, in other words, based on the source of General Accounting Office, less than 10% of software can be really used by people, by customers. Majority of them are lost one way or the other. Meaning majority of money and effort and time spent on software development are lost. But things are not that bad. These numbers are in the 1990, means 20 years ago. But now things are much better. They say around 25% in 1/4 of the pie are useful software, meaning deliver, being used by people and keep being used by people for some time. But we still have 75% of software was one way or the other. That's a lot of money. Okay. And so they classify on the failure. Failure doesn't mean the software and the system crash. Most of the time, the software do not crash, the system do not crash, but it fail in terms of operational. Because the software doing something, but user don't understand and not satisfied or not trust the result of the software. That's why they do not use it. Okay? That's one way of failure. Economic failure. The software and the system doing the job correctly, but by doing the job correctly, it costs more than the other way. So nobody wants to use it. Just remember the example, my example saying that by manually checking the paper and mark on it, they spend only 5 minutes, but if using the computer software to actually checking the paper and mark on it, it takes 40 minutes. And so, without the force of the authority, nobody actually loves the software and is going to use it anymore. Right? So that's how software is lost. Not because it doesn't work, but because it's not efficient, not economically to use it. Or technical problem. This one is the real trust system. Or development failed because they ask for too much time and too much money. So nobody afford that time and money anymore. So those software projects or development projects have been killed in the middle. And finally, there's a very important part of failure. They call it priority failure. Meaning, when they start to build a software or system, they have different priority, different business priority. Yeah. But because the system takes forever to be built, so things change, business change, and priority change. Later on, those people who need the system do not need it anymore. In that case, it doesn't matter whether the system works properly or not, it will not be used. Okay. So that kind of priority is very important because it's account for a lot of projects, and they find that in the modern business environment, because of the things, the environment changes so fast, the priority problem will be more and more severe. Okay? So we have to to improve our software development by addressing all these problems together. You cannot overlook any. Right now, what you are looking at in software development are only technical problems. When you try to find bug and fix bug, that means you only addressing the technical problem. Technical problems account for less than 5% of overall system failure or software development failure. The rest are non-technical problems. So, I mean, in our course, we will have to find a way addressing these problems, not only technical. Okay? So, it looks like most of you are so boring and fed up with what we are talking about. I can give you a break of 5 minutes while we are checking the presentation. Okay.
Cái slide đó là trên CMS em đâu thấy rồi.
This?
Yeah.
The first week.
Oh, the first week. The first week thì mình xem trong cái sách đó thôi.
First week có cái presentation. Nào nó về mỗi một tuần nó một cái ngắn phải viết.
Em thấy cái first week là cuốn sách không?
Không, cái đó là phần ngoài của các cái week.
Không, vậy là thầy kiểm lại cái
Cuốn sách
cái quick
ở bên trong nó sẽ first week là có week number 1 material.
Không, lúc bấm vô cái quick đó là nó đặt tải cuốn sách đó thầy.
Okay, so my mistake to have is wrongly. Okay. Okay.